What's up, Warriors? Welcome to Soul Spot April edition. We are so excited to be back with you. And for the topic today, if you'll notice, we're missing two of our beloved members, but they are both away on business, literally. They're both in work situations right now. So Rose and Soli are very missed. So today and for this month, we're going to be talking about womanhood. And when we first started the conversation, the first thing that kind of popped into all of our minds in our meeting was Proverbs 31, because sometimes it's an overdone concept of womanhood in the church as be a Proverbs 31 woman. And so we got it started on talking about this topic of being a Proverbs 31 in 2021. Like, what does that look like? What does that mean? And as we dug through the actual Proverbs 31 chapter and all those verses, we started to realize some things that weren't taught to us before that are actually included in being a Proverbs 31 woman. But before we get into that, what are you guys' initial thoughts when you think of Proverbs 31 woman?
When I think of a Proverbs 31 woman, I think of a woman that's just going to church.
Right.
She's just praying all day. And, she's just
prim and proper.
Very homely, she's not working. She's like, at home mom, stay at home mom, all of those things. That's what I think of when I hear the word Proverbs 31 woman.
Same.
I agree. And there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. That's not my portion. But, for the women that do that, that's beautiful. However, yeah, I think the same way. Honestly, I haven't even read it in such a long time, because every single time it's mentioned in the church, it's just so like, this is what you have to be for your man. And it's like, why does it always have to be for your man? Like, what do I do if I'm single? Like,
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I always like, when I thought Proverbs 31, I thought wife.
Yeah, wife and mother.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Deb is going to start us off by reading. So we're going to, pick in a few of these verses and just kind of talk about what that looks like and just expand on that. So Deb is going to start us off. Go ahead, Deb.
Proverbs 31:16 says, y'all, this is my favorite part of the whole chapter. Okay. And like I said, I've read this before and I never read this until today. And I was like, hold up, this is good. Proverbs 31:16 says, she goes to inspect a field and buys it. Ooh, there's so much there.
There's a lot.
With her earnings, she plants a vineyard.
Dang.
We could stop this right here. It's like my plan.
We can have a series.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So let me tell you why this really screams at me. First of all, she inspects the field before she buys it. Therefore, she is wise. Therefore, she said, no, I got to use discernment first before I just drop my money, before I just spend my whole life with you. I have to spend some time first inspecting. Hey, hallelujah. So that hypes me up. That's A. And that's with anything. That's why I think sometimes these like women conferences, they trip me up, because it's more than just, that applies to life.
Yeah.
That applies to life. What about using discernment in business?
Mm-hmm.
What about using discernment in ministry? Before you say yes to that thing, before you say no to that thing or to that person,
yep.
You should be inspecting it first. You should be watching it first before you just jump into it. That would be the wise thing to do. And I can't say that I've always done that. I've definitely jumped into things, but that's powerful. The second part really just grinds me. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard.
Yeah.
So this is, oh Jesus, I'm sweating.
I didn't know the Proverbs 31 woman made money. Like, what?
I didn't know she was such a business boss woman. Like, she said, no, we're not going to go to the liquor store and buy some wine. We're going to go plant some grapes and create our own wine for generations.
Yep. Investments.
Yes.
She was thinking about her children's children. She was not thinking about a temporary blessing, because the quick fix would have been to go run to the corner liquor store to go get some $15 wine. That would have been the quick fix. But she didn't do the quick fix. She said, I'm going to wait for these things to grow. We're going to smash them. Well, we're going to go through some rough seasons. But when this is all said and done, I'm sorry. It's not this is ministering to me as I'm saying it. That's why I'm freaking out right now. That's it. Toya.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
No, because it sometimes, when people think about women, they think about like foolish, right? Like just just doing whatever, and I'm going with the flow, and I'm just making just foolish decisions. But the Proverbs 31 woman highlights wisdom, a wise woman when she makes her decisions. So that's what I got from that, being very wise, especially in 2021 when we talk about business. We have all these women that are rising up in business now that are making these decisions. Yes, you are too a Proverbs 31 woman.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with like sometimes women in the church who aren't married or who don't want to get married are kind of looked at like, what's wrong with, like, why don't you want kids yet? Why aren't you working? Like, why aren't you out there looking for someone? And it's like, no, like this woman was out there being a businesswoman. Like you said, like there is so much room in the kingdom for you too, for you as a woman. If because not everybody has a desire to get married and have kids, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. God didn't make you wrong. He didn't leave out a part. Like
right.
Those desires, if you don't have that desire, that's okay. I know women who have no desire to get married and have kids, and not in a way of, there's some hurt and anger and unforgiveness there, but literally they desire to go be missionaries, single missionaries somewhere, or they desire to rise up in the business world for Jesus. Like you can do that too. And be, like LaToya said, a Proverbs 31 woman. There's nothing wrong with you if you don't have that desire to be married and have kids and, be the typical or what we used to think of as Proverbs 31 woman. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like after reading that, I kind of feel refreshed, because I'm so just not the type of person to that whole prim and proper, like perfect little, I can't flow with that personally, which is why I feel like I was maybe always so turned off by not the particular scripture, but with the way that it was being presented all the time, with flowers and roses and all that fun stuff. And I'm just not that person. And so I feel like I'm actually really happy that we're hashing this out, because after reading that, I kind of feel like, hold up, she was bad. Like like, you know what I mean? Like that was really refreshing to read, because it's not just you stay at home and you make what does it say? You make the breakfast before the sun rises or at dawn or something like that. And it's like, it's not just that. It's not just being, the full emotional support for, your family and your husband and whatever. It's not just that. It's like you are building legacy. You are literally building the foundation. That is like, girl.
And she wasn't either. Like she went out, she inspected it. She knew what she was looking for, right? She had an idea. She had a dream. She had a vision, and she went out and she said, I know what I want. Let's see if it measures up to it. Absolutely. And now I'm going to do the dirty work. I'm going to get on my hands and knees. I'm going to plant. I'm not going to be afraid of it. Even if people think I'm crazy or whatever it is, I'm going to get down. I'm going to and that's hard work. Yeah. Like it's farming. That's hard labor.
Yeah.
If you even read down a little further, it says she makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp her lamp burns late into the night. She's an energetic and strong, a hard worker. So she's just everything. She's everything.
And it really takes because, I don't know, I always used to think like, and not that, because my mom is a very hard worker too, so I don't know where I got this from, because really looking back, like she has in no way made me like led by example of just like sitting at home and not like being a hard worker. But for some reason, I just thought like the man makes the money, and obviously, if you're going to be married, your husband is the spiritual leader of your household. Like we follow God's order because that's how anointing flows, like of course. But that doesn't mean that as a woman or as a wife or as a mom that you don't get to also be and have that opportunity to have profitable earnings and to go out and have a career.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that as you were reading that next portion, LaToya, it kind of made me think about how like another way maybe that the Proverbs 31 woman is misrepresented is that she always has to be energetic and that she always has to be just emotionally available, and she's just always this way, right? But I can't help but think that, and track with me because I'm processing this right now. I can't help but think that as she is building this vineyard, okay, she's also stressed. She is also going through a lot, but still makes the decision to be energetic and still makes the decision to be there and show up for her family, because ain't no way in the world you build an empire like that
and you
just wake up happy and you just wake up and nah, not me. And so I can't help but think that I think that's what trips me up sometimes, is that it's very like, you're just always supposed to be joyful and available for someone to pour out and vent to you at all times, and you're just always supposed to be emotionally there as you're building this empire. But I just feel like there's a reason why that scripture is even there about her building, because it takes sweat to build.
Oh yeah.
It takes strength, sweat, tears to build.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love that you said that she makes a decision to be energetic, because really and truly, we can make that decision every day to be energetic. I feel like I do that on a regular basis with my students. They're always like, why are you so happy in the morning? And in my mind, I'm like, I'm really tired.
Right.
But I'm making the decision to be energetic right now because of what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So women, we really got this.
Do
Holding it down.
It's such a selfless, like, this woman that we're reading about just screams selfless to me. But I just feel like the world, so to be like a boss lady from the world standard, it's all about you. And Proverbs 31 woman, there's a portion where it is about you, because you're like, as we read this, it's not, she's just constantly giving, she's making a profitable earning. She's going out, like she's not just like a doormat, right? Yeah. But like she has this perfect balance of being selfless, and the only word I can think of is selfish, but obviously, in a more positive context, like you're not just being so empty that you're just left with nothing, right? Like there's this balance. And I just think that for Proverbs 31 and 2021, it's like finding that balance of being a boss lady, but not walking all over people, but also not being a doormat, like trying to find that balance of, I'm going to be selfless, but I'm also going to make sure I'm making a profitable earning, and I'm going to stand up for myself, and I'm going to inspect, and Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You have to stand up for yourself, because she can't inspect and buy every single piece of land. She's going to inspect and buy one, right? So at some point she has to be able to say no, yes. So she has to, and I think that just because it doesn't say that specifically, you can only imply that with being wise, you say no and you stick up for yourself. So there is that level of like, I mean, I don't really know how to say it either, but that healthy selfishness, I guess, for you and for your family, right? Because she's not just thinking about herself. She's thinking about her family and what's best for her family and for her children's children who aren't even here yet. That's what she's thinking about. Yeah. So I feel like in today's world, in 2021, I do feel like it's a little hard to stick up for that foundation because it is very, well, you have to put yourself first, you. And then you put yourself first so much that you end up either stepping on somebody else, or you're left alone at the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got all this money, but like you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true.
I don't know. That's just what I think. I don't know.
No, it's, and that's why it's like, how did she, because when you read that, like, she's so busy, but then, but she's a woman that we're supposed to emulate, and like but she still makes time for all these different things while still, like, she's literally the full picture, right? The whole thing. And it's like, she obviously had the boldness and confidence, like you said, to say yes and to say no. And I can't remember who wrote it, but someone wrote a book, Your Best Yes. And you have to be able to say your best yes. And like, if you know, to try to maintain that balance, like, it's okay to say no. And, you know, if someone doesn't receive your no, then that's on them. That's not on you. Like,
right.
Being intentional of, I'm going to say yes to what I can. I'm going to say no to what I can't. And using our discernment, like you said before, because there's no way that she could have all that whole list of the things that she's doing and not saying no to other things too. You know, it's the vineyard is just the perfect example, because exactly, she's inspecting it for a reason. So she's going to say no to certain things and say yes to certain things.
Yeah, that's wisdom in itself. Like, you have to know what you can and cannot do at that moment. So we're reading this Proverbs 31, but this is over a span of time too. It's not just all, I feel like it's not all happening in one day, right?
Right.
So, you know, she's accomplishing all of these things over time, right? And I love how, I mean, of course, we're reading it in the Bible, but of course, God is involved here, because I'm sure when she feel weak, you know, she knows where to go to get her strength. And that's something that's important, because as much as you're pouring out for others, something else has to be poured into you. And I feel like the Proverbs 31, she focuses on her relationship with God as well.
Right.
Absolutely. Which I feel like brings us to verse 25, which is probably one of the most well-known out of this passage. She is clothed with strength and dignity. But my favorite part is the second part of this verse, which is she can laugh at the days to come. Like, there's only one way I know I can laugh at the days to come, and that's if I'm chilling with Jesus, because otherwise, right? Like, how are you gonna, there's no peace besides him. And like, obviously she is so filled with trust in God that she can laugh. Like, that literally means that I can look at my future and laugh and be like, we'll see what happens. You know, I trust Jesus. Like, I'm along for the ride. Like, what?
Right. And that's not even in a, like, that is so real. And I feel like some people will hear that and think that, because track with me. Because there are people out here that are a little loony and that sit back and do nothing and say, well, I love Jesus, and so, you know, he's just gonna come through, and like, that's not the way that it works. Like, you gotta work.
Faith without works is dead.
Dead, honey.
Dead.
It's in the book. And so I feel like that is so real, to be able to work, to be able to plant seeds and not even know what the fruit is going to look like, and still laugh and still say, I did my part.
I love that it's,
you know,
they even use the word laugh, because it's not even, they could have said she has peace about the days to come. She trusts God with the days to come, but she laughs at the days to come. Like,
that's joy.
Joy. Like, wow, like, I want to get to, and I feel like God is taking me there, but to just be able to get to that place, because I laugh at everything like so easily, and I feel like it's just such a place of confidence and trust in God that, like, I can be joyful looking at a blank page or looking into my future and not seeing anything because we don't know what the days are going to bring. But like to be that filled with that much joy, like, oh, that's my personal goal.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
how you really know she's like leaning on the Lord. Because, you know, the joy of the Lord is your strength, right? So if she's full of joy of God, of course she's going to feel, you know, strengthened, right? My goodness, I need to get to that place.
I love that. Toya's filled with all the scriptures today. You was ready. She
Our
said,
Bible
these are the
scholar.
10 scriptures I'm going to bring up today.
So what do you guys think, like practically, right? Like how do we get to that point? Like how do we get to the point where we can laugh at the days to come, or where, you know, we like, what is that? And there might not be a surefire answer to this, but like how do we get to that point where we are finding our strength in the Lord?
I mean, it's really about developing your relationship with him, because at the end of the day, you have to know someone to trust them.
Yeah.
You got to get in your word. Just like how I'm spilling out these scriptures, you got to have the word in your heart, literally, and hold on to it and say, okay, this is what I'm going to hold on to. This is what I'm believing for my life. You know, with the unknown pages that you said, even when you said it, that hurt a little bit. I was like, oh, the unknown. To be able to laugh at the future and just know that God got me is a different kind of intimacy with God.
Yeah.
Definitely. So practically, get in your word. Get in your word. God proves himself time and time again. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you keep a record, for me, when I journal, sometimes I journal, I put it to the side. But when I go back in that journal and I read like where I'm coming from, like it gives me a kind of like deeper roots. Like I'm like, ooh, like God really brought me through.
Yeah.
I'm here right now. Like I'm laughing now after what I've been through. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I'm laughing in the present. How do I laugh in the future? That's really me just looking back at what he's done and then presently staying in my word. And then I could look towards
That's good.
the future.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good. I love that. I love that so much. I feel like for me, I'm just trying to think about like different situations I've been through personally. That kind of relate to what we just read. Being able to laugh at the future, right? At what's to come, being able to just laugh at the unknown is a scary thing, and it's not an easy thing to do at all. It is not an easy thing to do. When you read it, it just sounds so pretty and it just sounds so nice, but that takes yes. But that takes so much strength and dignity. Like the verse before that. And I feel like the way that I've been able to get through seasons where I didn't know how to laugh at all is a couple of practical ways. I would say community, finding community and making sure that I wasn't isolating myself. Pushing myself to go to services and just and be involved in different things, literally pushing myself, because I'm the type of person that isolates. I had to tell myself, no, we're gonna go to Resting Place, which is a worship house that we go to. You know, I'm gonna go to Resting Place. I'm gonna join this prayer call. I'm gonna, I'm gonna talk to my friend about how I actually really feel and how I've been doing the past month that nobody knows about. I'm just gonna say something. I'm gonna be honest and open, because I'm naturally not that way. And so I feel like practically that is a great way to exercise, because you have to exercise. It's like a skill that you just kind of have to exercise. It's just being vocal. And I feel like being vocal in the past has helped me to then be able to laugh. Because when you're vocal about, I'm going through this, and this, things can break when you're vocal about it, when you say something, when you get someone to pray with you, when you get to, like, things will literally start to break off.
Yeah.
Another practical way for me personally, and I really encourage you guys to try it, is, along with getting yourself involved and being a part of community, I feel like, obviously self-care is important, very important, right? I'm not saying that that's not. However, I really, really believe that serving other people is what pushes and pulls you through.
Amen.
What do I mean by that? Praying for other people when you don't know how to pray for yourself. Being there for other people when you don't know how to be there for yourself. Like I said, self-care, I'm not saying don't, if you don't have the capacity at all to even be there for, somebody else, and you just need to be with yourself, then be with yourself. However, I really am a firm believer that when you start putting others before you, when you start putting other people's healing before yours, you will be healed. When you start empowering and encouraging other people subconsciously, with time, you will start to get your strength back. Absolutely. You will literally, and I say that because from experience. So I'm like, I hope I don't sound crazy in this self-care world, because it truly is a self-care world, and that's beautiful. Please take yourself to the spa, please. However,
you gotta tell me twice.
Please do that by yourself too. Yeah. Like, treat yourself. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying when you start to strengthen other people, and when you start to encourage other people and lift up other people, that will literally subconsciously start to give you your strength back. It will start. I was talking to a friend about it not too long ago, and I was telling him, right now, I have the faith of a mustard seed. That's how much faith I have right now. I don't think I've ever had such little faith before in my life. And I was telling him, like, and in this time of having this mustard seed faith, I feel like all these people have been coming to me. I feel like I don't understand what it is. I'm just a magnet, and I don't mind. Like, I love it. I love helping people. I love being there for people. I love praying for people. But I'm just questioning, like, God, this is like an unusual amount of people during this time where my faith is so little. And my friend was like, that's how your seed grows. Mm-hmm. That's exactly how your seed grows. Because then I was like, but I feel fine now. Like, 4 weeks later, like, I'm good. Like, I feel renewed in the Lord. Like, I don't understand what happened in this, season. And he was like, that's literally how your seed grew, is because the whole time you were focused on serving other people, even when you couldn't pray for yourself, even when you were praying for people, the prayers that you wish you could have prayed for yourself. He took that, he flipped that thing around, and he said, here is your renewed strength. Yeah. Here you go. Without me even realizing it, I just was like, I'm starting to feel better. I'm like, I'm starting to feel good. So anyway, those are my two practical things: serving others, and community.
Yeah. It's so good and so true.
So good, Deb. So good. I love that little part where this is how your seed grows. Mm-hmm. This is how your faith seed grows. I feel like I'm going to hold on to that.
Yeah.
My seed is growing.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this Soul Spot this month. We pray that this has changed your perspective on Proverbs 31 woman, or just expanded your perspective on how practical it really is. Like, you literally can be a Proverbs 31 woman, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you got 0 kids or 25 kids, you can be a Proverbs 31 woman in 2021, right? We talked about, being a boss lady and being a go-getter. Like, if you don't have ambition and you feel a call to a purpose, but you don't know what that is, ask God to reveal it to you. Ask God to open a door of opportunity in your life. If you feel like you've been stuck because you've been living in what you thought your life should look like, but you've always had that longing for more, I dare you to ask God to give you that opportunity and to show you what that looks like, because you can be a mom and a businesswoman. We talked about laughing at the future, right? And just, if you are dreading your future and if you are dreading the days to come, take the practicals, like Deb said, get in community. If you need help finding community, comment on this video and we will help you find community no matter where you live. And talk to somebody, right? Tell them, and serve other people. If you need to get connected serving somewhere and you don't know where to start, comment on this video, send us a message. We want to help you. We want to be able to walk this out with you. And just spend time with the Lord. Like, God loves you so much. Perfect love casts out fear. And if you can just be in his love, that will cast out that fear, because he has perfect love. And the more you're in relationship with him, the more that your trust grows, and you'll be able to laugh at the days to come without fear of the future and without worry. And so I just pray that you feel strengthened, and that something in this video is able to help you and really just settle on your heart. And we love you so much. Keep an eye out for the Bible reflection and the personal reflection later this month on all of our platforms. We love you, and we'll see you soon. See you later, warriors.